All right, guys, welcome back to The Last Resort. Welcome to Project Potter. My name is Kyle, your host, joined here by Nigel, Garrett, and Joe. This is our topical conversation podcast. This is episode 4. So we all bring a topic to the table. We don't tell each other about it beforehand, and we just talk about it. It can go any which way. We talked about a heist last week, so it was a good time there. I'm just going to kick it off this week, guys. One thing I really noticed, because I was playing some PSVR last night, and I love my VR. Garrett, I know you've been over to try a little bit of VR. But there's like a cinema mode in VR, and you can like if you put it on basically, and it's like a floating screen, and it's like all black in front of you, like a theater. And I just realized like how much I miss movie theaters. Like the one thing with COVID that I've really missed is like the movie theater experience, and like just like not only growing up with that, but just like the fact that we can't really do that. I know some theaters are open right now, like Chunky. I love Chunky's. I've only been there like once or twice, but they're open, but they're like limited seating, and you can't sign up for seating anymore because of COVID. So that sucks. But if we ever get back to like a normal like scenario, I would hope that we can get back to that. But I know like theaters are taking a dive because like Warner Brothers is releasing like all their shit on HBO Max now, which is great. But it's kind of sad because like we grew up. I mean, we all grew up around a Marlboro, like our local town here, and it's like we went to. I mean, personally, I've worked at Regal Cinemas for like almost a third of my life. I think it's like 8 years probably total of like I'm almost 30, so it's like it's I'm like very connected to movies. But yeah, I just want to know like what are some of the biggest movie experiences that you guys have, and like is it like do you guys miss that like I do? Because like the number one thing that comes to mind for me is like Dark Knight Rises. I saw that in IMAX, and like man, I saw it in like the seats that shake and shit, and like I just like that whole experience. I just really miss like going and getting the popcorn, getting the candy. Like Garrett, we saw movies together. We went to go to the bar beforehand, like we go to Fridays or whatever, and then we like get over to the movie, and it's like I just miss that whole experience that we don't get with COVID. So, like, do you guys feel the same?
I definitely miss just going. Like the movies are the same. I mean, obviously, if they're played on a big screen, you're going to get more entertainment value and be more immersed. Biggest thing I miss is just sitting down with like a huge bag of really buttery, salty popcorn. And so I don't usually ever drink soda, but when I'm there, I'll grab a soda, even though it's not going to quench my thirst. I'm going to need 7 more. But there's something about just sitting in a movie theater and just devouring popcorn and watching a movie. It's
watching the previews too.
Yeah, the previews.
Yep. But no movies really stand out as like a great experience in the theater for me, and unless I'm like looking back like 20 years for like Shrek. Like I thought Shrek was just a great time, but
oh, I don't know if I saw that in theaters.
I didn't know what to expect, and it ended up just being a masterpiece. So that was kind of fun. And but it's just it's really just about the atmosphere. It's so much better than watching at home.
Sure.
Yeah.
And in Natick, they have the fork and screen one. That's the one. That's the last movie I went to before COVID. It was Uncut Gems.
Oh, the
fork and screen
movie?
it's a game changer. Yeah.
Is it good?
You just like you sit in these like recliners, recline all the way back. They got a table. There's a button that you call a waiter. He comes and brings it. You can drink beer.
Yep.
For the same price too.
Almost better pricing, actually. Like the popcorn's a better price over there.
Yeah.
And it's full refill, nonstop.
Yeah, that place is cool. I like speaking of movies, drive-in movie theaters too. It's fun.
I've never been to a drive-in still. Like
the experience is really cool, especially on like nice summer night.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, going to the movie theater, it's like that's always a big thing. Megan and I didn't go as much over the last few years, and then when COVID hit, we're like, damn, missed out on a lot of really good movies, seeing them in there, just because like hectic life, running around and everything. But like, there's nothing like going to a movie theater. I've been noticing lately, the more movies we've watched at home and everything, this stupid piece of tech gets in the way so much. You don't turn it on. Like when you're home, you check it. If someone texts you, you inevitably look over to it and everything like that. You don't ignore it, So it's just so hard to get away from that stuff. So it's just so nice being in a movie theater where there's literally nothing but the screen in front of you. So
yeah, that's a really good point. You don't typically check your phone at the theater. You're fully, like you said, Garrett, so like immersed into it.
Yeah, you don't want to be that guy. That's why I like the VR, Nigel, because I was playing it last night, and like when you have VR, I can't check my phone when I have VR because it covers your whole face. So I'm like, that's why I like like
You're checking your VR phone.
all I have is the screen in front of me. So it's like, I was like, this is nice because like you can watch like normal movies. Like I put on like HBO Max just to see, and like I watched like the pilot of Game of Thrones for like 10 minutes last night, and like it's cool because it blocks out everything else. So it really makes you focus like on just the screen. And I'm like, yeah, I miss this experience because like, yeah, you can have your phone on, but like you don't want to be that guy because then like you don't want you we've all sat behind that person where you look up and all of a sudden there's like a big bright light. This person's like checking their Snapchat and you're like, all right, dude, we're like, I'm trying to, like Nicolas Cage is about to kill someone over here and like I got a light up here. So
Nicolas Cage.
yeah, there's nothing like overspending on like, I mean, I got like discounts at Regal, but like, yeah, like I said, Garrett and I would go to the bar and like we get a few beers and then like the movie theater is right around the corner. And then we like a movie that wasn't that good, a couple beers in, you get an overpriced popcorn, you get an overpriced soda maybe. And it's like, then you're having a time of your life. And it's like, that's a night now. Whereas like,
now, when you say the bar, did you mean TGI Fridays?
Yeah, the one in the mall.
That's right.
Hey, they serve alcohol. They're still a bar. Okay.
Hey, TGI Fridays is a good place.
Yeah, but just like I just missed that social event. Like I haven't with COVID, I haven't missed too much. Like obviously going out, like that sucks. But like I mean, I'm not trying to go to a club too often anymore. Like the older I get, I think Nigel, we might have talked about this, probably off camera at some point, where it's like it'd be a good time, but like with COVID, not much has changed. But movie theater experience is like the one where like last night it hit me, and I was like, man, I really miss just like that, making a night of it, and like especially if you go to like dinner first, like dinner movie. I mean. It's a great date. It's like great if you just like go out with friends. It's like, I don't know. And like when you go see a great movie, like something else I thought of too, like when I worked at Regal and I go clean the theaters, like I worked there for like Dark Knight, which was like the busiest movie I've ever seen probably. And then like Harry Potter, when it ended, like that was nuts because it was just selling out. And then I think the first Avengers, like I think Infinity War, I think I was there for that. But like,
Did you work there during the Pokemon movies? And how many free Pokemon cards? The Mew cards that you get.
You mean the Detective Pikachu or like the?
Yeah, remember when you like it was like way back when you went to the Pokemon movie, and they gave you that like fake Mew card.
Oh yeah, they give out like promos and shit. When I worked there for like Twilight, when we did Twilight, we did like midnight releases before like people decided to start shooting up. Don't shoot people, okay? Everyone watching this, like, don't do that. But yeah, we used to give out like T-shirts and shit. We had like working at midnight really sucked, but like looking back on it, I'm like, oh, that was cool because like people line up like 4 or 5 hours before for like Twilight, and I'm like, dude, this isn't worth your time. But like they line up and like, here's a free T-shirt, and like people are like, I need to wait here because I need to be the first one, and it's like, it's just like that whole experience. And obviously I was like probably more closely connected to it because I worked there, but like I just missed that whole. Like the whole part of my life that's like gone now. And I don't think theaters are going to ever recover fully. I mean, maybe in a couple of years, things are like normal again. But like, I don't know. Like, do you guys think theaters will be the same eventually? Or do you think like now, like, what if movie theaters like, or studios like Warner Brothers decide to start releasing their shit on HBO? Like I watched The Little Things, like the other night, and like that was a movie I would have gone to see in theaters. But it was just on HBO Max, so I just watched it. And then like,
I mean, if they change their like the venue inside and they make like social distancing seating permanently, then they have themselves their business, just less people.
Yeah, that's what some of them are doing, but there's nothing like a packed theater. Part of what makes like Infinity War so good for me when I rewatch it is like I remember that theater experience because people like freaked out in that theater. Like some lady like screamed in that theater. And I just remember being like, that was part of the experience. Where now, like, I watch it at home, and it's great. I like to kick back and like watch a movie, but it's
like when people clap at the end for so long. You're like, all right, calm down.
Yeah,
I can't hear you.
Like I remember seeing like Paranormal Activity, and like those aren't good movies, but like with the crowd, especially like when that first came out, you didn't know what was going on, and like it's cool watching a scary movie. I think in particular with a crowd is really fun, especially with strangers, because like someone next to you could be real scared of it, and like and then like that makes it either scarier or like way funnier. But I don't know. It's
or
just,
someone in the crowd could be like the people in the movie. Some creep.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of my topic. I just kind of miss that experience. I don't know if we'll ever get it back.
I don't know if
I don't know if I'll ever have it, but go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say Kyle brought up The Little Things. I don't know if you want to touch on that in this.
What a disappointment.
Like,
Nigel, have you
did
seen
anyone
it?
else see it?
I haven't watched it.
I
yet.
just kept waiting for something to happen.
All right, so we got 3 out of 4. I don't know if we should go into it, but
Go for it.
yeah,
Go for it.
just
You
I
don't need to
wanted
see
to
it,
like
Nigel.
it so badly.
I
Is it not
liked
worth
it.
it?
that was a struggle. Nigel, you want to talk about movies where you're going to be distracted by your cell phone easily? That's one of them.
That's
Yeah,
the one.
That's
good to
one
know.
where you're going to be on your phone because you're like, yeah, this movie isn't doing it for me.
Yeah, this was like a tale of two halves for me, where like the first hour I really like enjoyed it, and I love Denzel and Rami, and then like I'm like lukewarm on Jared Leto, but I thought he was good in this role. But then the writing in the second half I thought was like really cheesy, and I was like, there were a couple of lines that I thought they were trying to be creepy. Joe, you mentioned, I think when we talked about it, like Prisoners, and I love Prisoners. Like I got to rewatch that movie, and I don't know if it holds up still when I rewatch it, but like I was hoping it was that vibe. And then like Leto had a few lines where like I could tell they were trying to be creepy, but I was just like, oh, that's stupid. Like I was just like, that's like he said something where I was like, I don't know. I don't, Nigel. I don't think you need to watch it honestly, unless you like got nothing to do on.
Wait for a day where you're real bored.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
Before you're about to go to sleep or something.
that's a good idea, right?
Yeah. Not the
But see,
worst
that's the
movie I've
thing
seen.
is like those experiences like that. That sounds like a movie that's probably made for the theater, where like you're not distracted, you're fully immersed in the movie and everything like that. So you're, for lack of a better term, forced to be in that moment. So you have to watch it and stuff like that. So it makes all those better points, better, more enjoyable. It makes it worth the
Sure.
wait. It's like you're at home, you're like, I could have gotten up at any point in this movie and gone away, but like.
That's a good point, because like I mean we've seen bad movies before, but like once you get to a certain point in the movie, I don't think you're actually allowed a refund. So like if you've gone to the bar, like if you make a night of it like we used to do, if you go to the bar, you had food, you had beers, and then you go to the movie theater, it's like, well, we've now spent like the last 3 or 4 hours like planning this. So it's like even if the movie is shitty, like you're like, well, we already planned this out. So it's like we might as well sit here and we might as well watch it. And then it's like whereas at home, yeah, you just hit stop or back or whatever, and then it's like, and it's done. So I think that is an important factor too, that it's like you can leave a theater, but you also paid for it. And so it's like, I'm probably not gonna get my money back. Am I really gonna leave, or am I just gonna like sit down? I've had people like leave the theater like 5 minutes into the movie. And I'm just like, what did you think? Like, did you not know anything about this movie? Like it'll be like a comedy and people will be like, they just like walk out. And everyone else is laughing, and I'm like, dude, you had to have known this was a like if you weren't coming here for comedy, then like I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
But, cool. All right, Garrett, I know you got a tight schedule today. What do you got for a topic this week?
I had a few things. It was based upon if someone else took one first. But I was basically just going to talk about NCAA football announced its return after like an 8-year hiatus, which is a game that I really, really like to play. So my topic was basically, if you guys do play video games, or you can use a television show or something like that, what's something from the past that you really want to be brought back that really just, probably won't or just hasn't happened yet, and you're just waiting on it? Me personally, I was a huge Legend of Zelda fan growing up. So if they were to remaster like Ocarina of Time or Majora's Mask, that would really excite me. There's rumors that it might happen. I'm not sure if it will or not, but Nintendo's sitting on a gold mine, and that's one of those things, because it's just, stuff gets taken from you, and then it's like, you go back and you replay the old one, but it's like, you feel dated with graphics and all that. So I don't know if you guys have anything from your past that you really want to revisit again.
I was gonna say Pokemon, but like people are still unboxing Pokemon like today, so like I don't even know if that's really gone away. Really, Zelda is a good one. I actually like kind of miss Zelda. Like I played a little bit of Breath of the Wild, and I know people swear by that game, and I just didn't think it was great. But like I don't know. But I also didn't grow up with Zelda, so.
It's a good game. It doesn't feel like a typical Zelda game. It's so open world and everything like that. You're just running it. It's like combining Skyrim and Zelda. It's such a big map to run around in. There's not as many dungeons and stuff like that. So it's a good game. It's not a Zelda game.
Yeah, and it didn't have like fixed weapons. In previous Zelda games, you only had certain weapons, and that's all you got. In this game, you could like pick up anybody's weapon that they left behind.
Yeah.
I almost want to say like NFL 2K football. Was 2K5 the last one with To?
Yep.
But I'm like, I really like Madden, so like I don't know if we even really need that, but it would just be nice to have like a competitive space where it's like there's something other than Madden, where it's like NBA 2K, it's like there's NBA Live, but NBA Live is not really that good. So it's like it's kind of just 2K, which is fine because 2K makes great games, but I don't know if I can think of anything non-video game related that I could want to come back. Cause like the things like I'm thinking like Yu-Gi-Oh! I did as a kid, but I'm like I don't
It
know. I don't
doesn't
really
even
want
have to be that far back. Like it could be anything.
We just had Tony Hawk Remastered. That was really fun. I played a little bit of that, but like that was something I really enjoyed as a kid. I'm like a huge Kingdom Hearts guy, so like, but those have all been remastered. So like,
Like NFL Blitz, that was a good one.
yeah,
That is a good one.
NCAA football is obviously so much fun with Campus Legend. Just being the senior year in high school was so much fun. Then picking your college, and then you have to earn your spot too. That was really cool. One that was not remastered but was like uploaded to the Xbox server, or whatever, was a computer game I used to play, Duke Nukem.
Okay.
That's not an Xbox game. The graphics are still the same as a computer, so that's one I'd like to see with like the new modern graphics, because that was an awesome game. Or like StarCraft or something like that.
yeah. I played Warcraft 3 a lot, and like RuneScape. But
Age
like,
of Empires.
is RuneScape? I think RuneScape is still the same now, or like I don't know, but it's still around. I think.
RuneScape's
actually played-
yeah.
I actually played Age of Empires 3 a lot yesterday during the snowstorm.
Those games
Such
are
a
good.
good game, dude.
So I guess I saw something yesterday for Age of Empires. It was like coming to your phone, I guess.
Probably.
Yeah,
Not good.
that's available on there now, so you can play that anytime. I would say maybe NFL Street with some of these players they have now.
Yeah.
Can you imagine having a home? NFL Street mode, Lamar Jackson, NFL Street mode would be ridiculous.
Lamar Jackson is like made for NFL Street.
Literally.
Yeah. Yeah, NBA 2K, I guess, is another answer of mine. Like NBA Street Volume 2 is like a game I played so much. They just remade Streets of Rage. Like Streets of Rage, my brother and I played a lot growing up, and that was really fun. But they just made number 4 for that, and it did like really well. So, yeah, I'm trying to think of like older things. We played like TMNT too. Like we had a Dreamcast too. So like I remember getting a Dreamcast, and like that was crazy because we got like Sonic Adventure on it, and it was like Dreamcast graphics, and we played Power Stone on it, and it's like I don't know, all that shit was fun. The Dreamcast was cool, but
Well, getting off of like video games and stuff like that, I'd say anything like Rocket Power or anything like that, like those shows.
hey
I
Arnold,
know people grew up with that and everything like that, but I feel like so biased towards these shows compared to some of the shows that are on right now. And it's like looking into the future, like having kids, I'm like, I don't know if I'd want to watch any of these current shows with a kid right now. Maybe not all of them. You know,
Yeah,
again, very
I
biased,
completely agree with you, Nigel. Like, if I can find Rocket Power for my kids, when I have in the future, I'll have them watch that. Hey Arnold,
right?
Rugrats, Real Monsters, all that stuff.
Mhm.
Any of those Batman, old school Justice League, stuff like that. Like that was stuff that like
Pinky in the Brain.
like, you know.
I think on a lot of those old shows, they put a lot more adult humor in them and weren't afraid to do so, which made it appeal to a lot more than just like kids.
Yeah.
Got some
Like
Batman,
now I feel like they're afraid to do stuff like that.
the Batman animated series here I got. This thing is great. I didn't really grow up on this, but I got this on like Amazon for a while back, and like I watched every episode and I was like, this is a really good show. I got Samurai Jack too. Like that stuff, I like that stuff.
Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill.
Oh yeah, dude. Kevin Conroy is like the Batman. Like he did
That
that
is
Arkham games too, right?
Batman. Like you can say whatever you want about like actors for Batman, but like that's the Batman voice. That is.
There's that great scene in Neighbors where he's like, I'm Batman. He's like, who's your Batman?
Michael Keaton's my Batman.
So good. Yeah. Any last anything you guys want to bring back that we didn't mention? They're like remastering everything now, so like they're kind of already doing that. Like
Yeah.
Crash Bandicoot, like all that stuff has come back. So
Well, welcome back NCAA football. It's been missed.
Yeah, that is going to sell like hotcakes. That is going to sell that's going to smash records 100%, unless it's bad, of course. But like it's hard to screw that up.
Is EA making it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well,
So it's going to feel like Madden probably, but so did NCAA football, but just a little tweak, and then having all the college schools and stuff. So that'd be cool. Nice. Joe, while we're on the football topic, what do you got for a topic?
Well, since it's sort of like the anniversary of COVID coming up, like 1 year type anniversary.
God, is it really?
I was thinking, what are your top 3 or top 5 best TV series, like your most favorite TV series? Particularly
during COVID or all time?
All time, but
Okay.
COVID just having the time and you could rewatch all your series. So I just figured it was a fitting question to ask what your top 3 or top 5 favorite TV series all time.
I thought you were going to be like top 5 viruses, and I would have been like, COVID's coming in number 1, baby.
I feel like smallpox still might have us, but like I'm not
Spanish flu has a special place.
Sopranos comes to mind like right away for me. Like
yeah, my top 5 are Sopranos, The Walking Dead, Entourage, The Office, and The King of Queens.
You're the Walking Dead guy?
Well, I watched The Walking Dead during COVID. Never seen it before. Turned on one episode and I was like, "Oh my god, this is the best show!"
Really?
It's an amazing show.
Have you seen all of it? Because like, I've
seen all of it. It's sad to say because there's like 18 1-hour episodes each season, and I've seen all 11 seasons during COVID, and I think it's awesome. It's such a good show.
I like it, but I wouldn't put it on my in my top 5. But I've seen every episode, so I'm gonna just like ride it out at this point. But
and I hate zombies too.
Entourage, I think, has got to be in there too. That's like I've been meaning to rewatch Entourage. So every time I see HBO, I'm like, So, I don't know if I would put Breaking Bad in my top 5. It's really good. So I'm leaning. Oh, Game of Thrones, 100% Game of Thrones. Like, and I like the last season too, but like the first 7 seasons at least, like, so I think some of the best TV ever. So like, I don't know if I can do like a 1 through 5, but like in that mix somewhere, for me, definitely Game of Thrones, Sopranos, The Wire, I think definitely has to go in there. And then like maybe Breaking Bad. And then I don't know if I can find a 5th. I'm sure I could find something if I.
And I had trouble too because I was saying, do I do all like drama type or like HBO type because HBO makes such great TV shows, but like then I was thinking about The Office and it's just too
The
good.
Office is so good.
Too good.
Yeah, that's probably my top 5.
What about you guys?
This is tough. I'll put The Wire in there.
So
Sopranos, Seinfeld.
Oh, Seinfeld! Shit, I forgot about that. Yeah, that's probably got to go in there too.
Game of Thrones, and then but see, I feel like I'm throwing a lot of dramas in there, so that's when I'm like if these were like the only 5 shows I could watch for the rest of my life, I'd want to mix it up a little more. But Wire, Game of Thrones, Sopranos, Seinfeld, Breaking Bad's up there, Entourage is up there. Honestly, I might just double down on Seinfeld and throw Curb Your Enthusiasm in there as well.
Curb too. Yeah, see, those are kind of like 1A, 1. Like, go ahead. Sorry.
I can rewatch those, either one of those shows, like any episode at any time.
Yeah.
Curb is like the same DNA as Seinfeld, so I almost like kind of loop those together because it's like they're so similar, except obviously one has swears and one like they're different, but like yeah.
Seinfeld was swears, was Curb.
Yeah, so anything you guys have been saying definitely could fit in that. I'll pick some different ones just because, they're out of there. I always lean more comedy, especially if I'm putting it on to watch, like, just binge watch through the whole series. The Office is obviously up there. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, could always watch that. Did you guys get to watch that reunion?
Not yet.
It was really good. It's really good. It's on
Let's watch it.
that thing was crazy. So definitely, if you get a chance, check that out. That was definitely worth the wait and everything. The lead up to it too, I was worried they were gonna blow it out of proportion. It was gonna be a little bit too much buildup, but no, it definitely worked out.
It was great. Yeah.
Sure. I can always watch Scrubs. That's literally my go-to to put in the background when I'm doing anything. Great show. Yeah, really, those are some of the big ones. Do you guys watch Schitt's Creek?
Yeah, this is good.
I heard it's good. I haven't seen it.
I recommend it. I had heard it, like people talking about it nonstop while it was like live and stuff like that, and I didn't watch it. And then I was like, Megan and I started watching it at the beginning of the pandemic, and I'm like, you know what? I'll give it a shot. And she had tried. She's like, we should definitely watch it. And it's really, really good. Like I was thoroughly impressed.
So Garrett and Joe, you guys didn't put Schitt's Creek in your top 5. So is it like all time good or just like recently good?
Depending on who you ask, they'll probably say all time good. But yeah, it's definitely up there. I'd put it into like a similar category that I have like Always Sunny in Philadelphia in. Like it's not top 5, but it's very close and it's very rewatchable.
Yeah.
Joe, did you say like just all time shows? Because like I mean, I'm obviously huge. I have a Mr. Robot review channel. Like
that's what I figured you'd say. Like, what are your top 5 favorite shows all time?
Yeah, 5 is hard because like we mentioned, there's like probably at least 10 that like could go into that category where it's like, yeah, I can't leave any of the ones that I mentioned out. But yeah, Mr. Robot is like, just rewatching it for the reviews. It's like, man, the show is so fucking good. Like I can't believe how good it is. But then, yeah, we mentioned like Sunny, and Sunny, every episode of Sunny I watch, I'm like, I can't believe that this is as good as it is. And it's like 14 seasons in now. And it's only, I don't think I've ever seen a bad episode of It's Always Sunny. Like not a single one that I've been like, well, that was a waste of time. I've been like, oh, that wasn't as good as like the classics, but it's still really funny. And there's usually some really good moments in there. So that show is like gold.
So I'll throw another one out there for the Witcher series, even though that's brand new. That was.
I heard about that one.
I haven't seen that yet.
And I heard about that
Viking
show too. Anyone seen that?
Which one?
It's called The Vikings or something like that.
Yeah, they're in their final season.
I need to get around to watching that. I've heard nothing but good stuff about that one.
Same, yeah.
Yeah, I want to watch that.
Nice.
What else? I think of any other one. Like looking through my like recently played list really fast.
Yeah, I feel like we're
I'm
missing something, but
Survivor right now.
Which one?
Designated Survivor.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Vic was suggesting we watch that one, so gotta get to that one.
I was gonna say Vic got you hooked on that one.
Yeah.
It's like
I never
modern
saw
day
like
West
24
Wing.
or anything.
Did anybody see Queen's Gambit yet?
No, I heard it was good though. That's the chess one, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to I keep hearing mixed reviews, but not from anyone I know. So like I don't know what to trust about it or anything like that. Like it looks really good, but I just haven't done it yet.
My sister said it was really good, but I don't know if I trust her opinion.
My brother said the same thing. They said it was really good, and I've seen other people. What I do is sometimes I Google like, is so and so worth it, or is this worth it, or is this good? And then I'll just like read through the comments. Like I'll just scroll through and like people.
Oh, it takes me forever to pick a new series. If I've never seen it, like I'm like, all right, am I gonna like it? Is it gonna be fitting for me? Am I gonna hate it after 2 shows? It takes me forever to decide.
Some of the best shows have like some of the worst pilots though, so that's what's tricky. Is like The Office season 1 is like kind of weird, I think, isn't it? Like,
I think The Office season 1 is so funny.
It's so good, but it is. I can understand if anyone like the first season and like struggles through it. I can see why.
It's very obvious the actors haven't settled in.
Yeah.
Like so, it's like by season 2 they've found their natural flow with each other, and it kind of starts to gel a lot better.
Right.
Yeah, it's hard to do that. I think that Seinfeld is like that too. I think like the very first season of Seinfeld or the first couple episodes are really weird, and then obviously it's like one of the best shows ever created, in my opinion. So, yeah.
I'm rewatching Friends right now too.
Which one?
Friends.
I've never seen Friends, and I've watched it a couple times. I don't really like it, but I'm gonna give it another shot at some point.
Good one. How I Met Your Mother. Anyone watch that one?
Which one?
How I Met Your Mother.
I haven't seen it in full.
Shit. Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. There's things I'm forgetting about. Yeah, I love that show, dude. I've seen that through at least twice, probably 3 times, like all the way through. Like I love that show.
Has anyone done Bridgerton?
No. Megan did Bridgerton.
I started the first episode because like everyone's talking about it, and if I have time, maybe one day I will get to episode 2.
What's it called?
Because it is like a Bridgerton. It's a little all over the place. It seems like definitely more of a woman's type of show, not to profile it. But it's like a period piece, but it's not a real time period. It's like, hey, this is like early 1900s or something like that. But I'm like, it's also kind of like a fairy tale in early 1900s with a different vibe. I'm like, I don't know. It's getting a lot of press right now, but it's kind of really odd to me.
Yeah, I haven't seen Downton Abbey. I haven't seen, but I heard that was great.
I think it's supposed to be kind of like the same period as Downton Abbey, right? Something like that. Is that accurate? I could be totally off on that. I haven't actually watched it, but like, it seems like it's very well done, but it's definitely not something that's geared towards me.
Yes.
That's how I'll put it. Not something that I want to sit down and watch, but the little things that I've seen in the background while like Megan's been watching it and everything, I'm like, okay, I can see why someone might like that and everything, but it's just not really what I would sit down and binge watch.
It's definitely different than all the shows we named for top 5.
Yeah,
very, for sure.
I don't think I would put this in top 5, but did you guys ever watch Wilfred with what's his name, Elijah Wood?
Yeah, I watched a bit of that. I liked it. It was like before I was on like streaming and stuff like that, so like it was trying to like watch live episodes, and then if you missed the episode, I was so lost.
Oh yeah,
I saw what the plot was and what was going on, so I like couldn't really get into that. But it was funny anytime I was watching it. It was good. Did anybody watch the movie Dark Crystal when they were growing up? Anybody seen that? It's an obscure one. There was a series that came out off of that movie, which was created in like early 90s, maybe earlier than that. And it's actually, hold on, let me pull it up. It's like I think it was created by the creator of the Muppets, I think, the original thing. So it's like this huge, it's weird. It's really tough to explain and everything, but it's a cool one. And it finally came out of the series like at the beginning of the pandemic, like based off of that, like a prequel to the movie. Very weird and everything like that. But like, I watched it. My dad loved the thing when he was younger and so, or when he was showing it to me when I was younger, and like, it was kind of cool seeing that like brought to life, but like in like a decade later or more, and like new technology, and then being able to like put that on the screen. So like that was really cool. You
say Muppets, and I just always think of Jason Segel now, because he just like loves Muppets.
Yeah.
And Joe, you said TV shows only, right? Because I was thinking like movies. I think would be way harder for me.
Yeah, movies are hard. So many.
There's so many. Hard. Nice. I like that topic. Nigel, I think you're the only one left, right? For what you got for this week?
Yeah. So okay. So if you guys if you had to spend the rest, like 100% of your time on one thing that you do now, all right? So a hobby, something you do for work, anything like that, something of interest to you that you do right now. You have to spend all your time doing that until you've mastered it, or as mastered as you can. What would it be?
So you gotta do one thing until you master it, and then what? Then you can like you have to
and then like life can go up. But like if you had to spend all of your time focusing on like perfecting this one skill or this one thing that you were trying to do, what would it be?
For me, it's kind of a strange one. I've never really had time to do it. It's odd. It would probably either be learn to play the guitar or the piano. I think, and it's a toss up between the two because I really enjoy pianists, and I don't think there's a lot of them anymore. And so I think I'd probably go with that. But yeah, I mean, both of those require so much time and dedication that I would basically need to just be laid off from a job, sit at home and do nothing but that for a while to get anywhere near good at it.
I mean, I just recently watched La La Land. Is like, I don't like musicals. La La Land is like one of my favorite movies. And they said Ryan Gosling learned like he didn't know any piano, and he learned all of it. Like every shot in the movie where he's like doing a song, he learned all that shit in like a few months. Like they were gonna get like a hand double for him, because like they were like, we're gonna get someone to like actually play piano in case Ryan can't do it. and then like had him do it, and he just like crushed it. And I'm like, all right, I guess we're good. But like, yeah, piano is super fun. I bought a guitar on Amazon like probably 3 years ago, and it's just sitting in my bedroom. And I'm like, I always look at it. And I'm like, I want to learn to play this, and I just one day I'll get to it. But that would be really fun because I would just love to just sit down and just play some music.
Right.
I've been reading about like people who can code and like create their own code, build their own websites and stuff. I don't really know tons about it, but if there's something I could definitely learn to do, that's what I would learn. There's so much you can do with coding, create. 100%. That's what I would learn to do.
Nice. That's funny. That's actually, oh, hey, special guest. No, it's funny. I was actually in between guitar, coding, and this one other thing. And so like I was thinking cooking actually.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
Yeah, I need to
You
cook.
could always learn so much more from cooking.
Like I love doing it and stuff like that. But like it's so time consuming, like learning new recipes and stuff like that, and learning new practices within everything. It's just, it kills you. Like a 45-minute thing for a professional chef would take you like 3 hours to do.
Yeah.
I completely agree. I'm like, oh, I read a recipe and it's long. I'm like, well, it's just long because there's a lot of stuff in it. You're sitting there like, dice 4 tomatoes. You're like, what? This is like only the first step, you know?
It's true. I mean, before COVID hit, I used to be able to go to like business meetings and stuff like in different places of the country where they always had like test kitchens, and they would have a pro chef like show you how to cook on appliances and certain appliances and all that. And we would spend all day just cooking on them and following, like they would print you out 3 pages worth of directions on cooking one meal.
Mhm.
And then they would show you how to do it. It would take us, it takes hours, and it's a ton of fun. And another thing that is also time consuming about it is not only just cooking and mastering the ingredients, but also the cleanup, because you're going to mess up a lot of bowls, a lot of dishes. And all of a sudden you're like, oh, I did all this work to eat this for 15, 20 minutes, and now I got to clean up. So it's like all of a sudden it's a full day's worth of work for 20 minutes of enjoyment.
Yeah.
That's the downside of cooking, but I do love to cook.
Right?
Yeah.
It's
It's
like
always
like
satisfying.
I've had the chance to like see a lot of people do some pretty crazy stuff over the years, just like some family events, stuff like that. My parents knew a lot of really, really good chefs and stuff like that growing up. So I was blessed to have all this amazing food. And like I'd be in the kitchen watching them and stuff like that, and they'd create these crazy dishes. But like you were saying, Garrett, the cleanup to me was like, oh my God. But they'd have it down to a science where they knew exactly when to start cleaning X, Y, and Z, so that while this is boiling and stuff like that, I can take care of these 3 things. So like those are done. I put that away. That's all set. So now the cleanup takes this person like 20 minutes at the end of the night. And now that meal is like perfected. It's awesome and everything like that. And they have nothing else to do when they're done. Like,
exactly. And that stems back to what you said about that's the mastery of it. That's spending enough time on it to master those things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Those little details and stuff like that, being able to figure stuff out. It's awesome.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest like barricade into cooking, I think, is like it's not difficult, I'm sure. Like anyone can cook to some degree if they can follow directions. But it's like you said, it's like putting in like hours of work for a 15-minute meal and then cleaning up. And it's like, all right, I could put this together, but like, like for me, like long day at work, clock out at 5. And it's like, do I really want to spend 2 hours making a meal, eating at 7:30? And then cleaning up, and then it's like 9 o'clock before my night even starts, and it's like, I don't know, when I could just like order pizza or like get something frozen. It's like I would love to cook because like I buy a lot of frozen foods, and like it's just so easy, and I'm always, and they're expensive too, so it's like I could save money by cooking, but it's like it is a process, and it's like you have to like it just takes time because there's like little things like you want to get nice like cookware, and then you want to get like nice bowls and dishes and knives and all this shit. That's like I would love to do it, and eventually one day hopefully I can learn to cook. But like I always respect like chefs, and like it must be really cool to like be like a world-class chef and like to serve food, and like everyone loves that food. Like I don't know, I just think that's cool. Like Ratatouille. Does anyone have anything other than cooking? Like it's a hard question.
Well, I did music.
Yeah.
Oh,
You're
true.
the
I guess
music.
we
you
touched
did.
on.
Joe did coding.
What do you got, Kyle? You got anything different you'd wanna?
Yeah, mine's kind of a combination, like I say, like guitar 100%, but like anything that I do now, it's tough because like I do stuff with the channel, so like I just want to master that stuff to some extent. I feel like that's a kind of a cop-out answer, but just like editing better and like making better content and shit, like I feel like that's a work in progress. So I guess that would be my answer, but I don't know if that's like a legit answer, but like I don't know, just since I started the channel, like
Yeah.
probably 6 or 7 months now, maybe longer. Like I just learning like lighting and different angles and like all that stuff. Like I love making content, so like I'm just always thinking about like how can I make this better? How can this be more engaging and like just things like that. So I guess to answer the question, like being a better like content creator slash director, producer, whatever you want to call it. So
Sure.
cool. All right, I think we got everybody. So any closing thoughts, guys, on episode 4 of Last Resorts?
Joe, what's my next show I'm binge watching?
Ooh, that's a tough one, man. What's the next one? I mean, yeah, have you never seen The Walking Dead?
I haven't finished it yet, so I know I have to go and finish that. So that's already on the list.
I pegged you for liking that show. If I had to recommend a show right now, I would definitely recommend Designated Survivor.
Yeah,
Just given all the politics and stuff, but it's cool.
I like it. Yeah, like I said, Vic had already mentioned watching that one too, so now I got 2 for that one. So that's a must.
Yeah, you guys have been raving about it, so I'm like maybe I should check this out. But did you guys ever watch Homeland?
No.
I haven't seen it all.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I never like get into it for some reason. I don't know. I couldn't.
Yeah, I've seen the first 5 episodes like a few times, but I can just never get into it. Really, I think they just wrapped up recently, but
Honestly, I watch like probably an hour's worth of Jeopardy every night at least.
oh, you do?
On purpose. I know it's like a 75-year-old thing to do, but I love Jeopardy. It's so much fun.
Dude, anytime that you played Jeopardy in class, tell me that wasn't the best class you had. Like,
So much fun.
let's be honest. Like everyone, you can say that it's like that's an older thing to do. No, everyone likes playing Jeopardy. Everyone wants to play Jeopardy.
You
Oh,
always
yeah.
learn something too. Like you always come out like gaining knowledge that you didn't have before.
And
so.
I'm always just mind boggled at how fast they know the answer because I'm like,
yeah.
what are they even asking for the question?
Right?
You know, they already know the answer. So crazy.
The obscurity of some of the stuff. And I'm just like, why do you know that?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they have the simple questions where it's like they've been studying so long that they're like what is the football team in New England? And they're like, the Broncos?
That's
And you're
how it
like,
is.
bro, you didn't know that, but you knew all the other stuff. Like, but, yeah, I guess it's just focus. It reminds me of like spelling bees. Like if you ever see spelling bees, it's like these kids know like they're like I read the dictionary 5 times. I'm like, what?
So that just not Jeopardy, but before that with Homeland and one that you recommended, Joe. That made me think of another one to put into like my top 5 would be Westwood.
Oh yeah, good
Oh,
show.
I haven't seen that.
I haven't watched
Very
that
good,
in so long. That's a great show.
It's on
That
HBO,
show is
right?
better than Designated Survivor. It's much more political, but also, I mean, how can it be March?
Right? So good.
See, I thought Westworld would be really good, and then like loved the first season, and the second season I was like meh, and then the third one's got Jesse Pinkman in it. It's got Aaron Paul, so like I'll watch it at some point, but like I was hoping that show would be like an all timer, and I think it kind of fell off. But HBO, man, they put out stuff, and it's always like a certain level of like good. We're like, yeah, like we talked about little things, and like I didn't love it. But like I've seen way worse movies where I was like, there is a certain level of quality that like they hit, like at least for the first hour or so, like they had my attention and I was interested. And then I think they fumbled the ending there, but
yeah,
like something about HBO, they just know how to put out like quality content.
I'll say this about little things is there was a message in the ending, but the message is boring. So it doesn't make for a good ending.
Yeah. I was like Googling it after, and people were saying, they were like, wait, so what happened? And then people were saying like, oh, well, this is the moral of the story. I'm like, yeah, I guess so, but like, I don't know. It's, yeah, I mean, yeah, Nigel, if you have time, I would watch it. Everyone's talking about it, so like, it's just like FOMO, if anything else. But like, it's not the worst movie I'll watch, but it's not the best.
You know.
It's better than like Sharknado. So
There's like 5 of those things, right? Do you get to 8? I don't remember.
actually, we talked about movie theaters earlier. I definitely got like hammered, and then like went to go see Sharknado. Garrett, I think you're with me. I like fell
You did.
asleep,
You're like, hey, do you want to go see like Sharknado 4?
yeah.
And it was like, I don't know what it was about at all. I was like, oh yeah, let's grab a couple beers and we'll go see this. It'll be a riot. And we got in there. We got through about 10 minutes, and we're like, we can definitely do something better with our night.
I'm pretty sure I think I had more than a couple of beers, and I think I fell asleep like 3 minutes into that movie.
It was we didn't last. If I remember correctly, we like, it was me, you, and somebody else, and we just got up and left like 20 minutes into it.
Yeah. One last like touch on, you know what movie was better in theaters? Spring Breakers. Like that movie sucks, but like it's a good laugh. Like that's a movie. Have some beers, you know, whatever you want to do, smoke some weed, and watch that movie, and like you'll have a good time. Like it's not going to be a good movie, but it's going to be an enjoyable movie.
There you go.
And on that note, thank you guys for joining me for week 4 of Last Resorts. No heist this week, but I think we got some good topics in there. So yeah, this is Project Potter, guys. If you're first time on the channel, check out the channel, like, comment, subscribe. Go check out the other content. As I mentioned earlier, I got a Mr. Robot review that we're going through. So, but yeah, boys, thanks for joining me. Always a good time, and we'll see you next week.
Good.
Peace.